Hey, I'm Tom, and this is TRB Collectibles, where I go to yard sales, estate sales, and thrift stores. I buy items for a low price, then resell them on eBay for a decent profit. And today, I'm celebrating 1 year on YouTube with TRB Collectibles. That's right, it's been 1 full year since I released my very first video. And if you haven't gotten to check out a couple of them, be sure to check them out before you head out. But today I kind of wanted to talk about my year on YouTube and what I've learned as a reseller. I think I've grown and I've learned a lot, and hopefully you've seen that just as much as I have. Not only have I learned more about how to create content to put up on YouTube, but also how to price items, what to look for, and how I can find the right things to sell. And not only that, tell you all about it. And that's what makes me excited to keep doing videos like I'm doing right now, is because I know there's somebody that was like me, who was just trying to learn and grow and decide on what they want to do with reselling and or YouTube, and maybe watch a video or two of mine and get 1 or 2 tidbits that they could have taken away. And that's what I hope for. That's what I'm grateful for, because I wanted to pass it along just as much as I have learned it myself. And this video is kind of gonna recap what I've learned in the last year, how I've grown, where I've been, what I've done, and what I'm really gonna look forward to within the next year of TRB Collectibles. The first thing I wanted to touch on a little bit was what I actually learned, at least major things that I've learned being a reseller. And to be very honest, it's a subject that I never thought I would actually get into personally, but reselling has gotten me into it, and that's cross-stitch patterns. That's right, I knew really nothing about cross-stitch patterns until I picked up my very first one, and it sold, and from then on out, I constantly look for them. But let me take you back to my super secret project where I learned the most about cross-stitch patterns.
I went ahead and I picked up a whole bunch of cross-stitch patterns, and I'm not talking like a little bunch, I'm talking like a lot bunch. I purchased over 300 pieces of cross-stitch patterns. So this is the first bin that I picked up. It has sealed cross-stitch patterns, a wide variety, like this one's for Halloween, in all different sizes and shapes. So I could easily go ahead and sell all of these. No problem. I got a lot of thread, sealed new thread in the bag, and this is all patterns as well. I went ahead and I picked up this second bag. Yes, I had to fill trash bags worth. Some of this is open, most of it, I'd say 85% of it, is sealed new product, which is really good for me. Some of it is open, but also they've added and purchased the thread count when they went ahead and let it go. So that adds a little bit more value to the person buying it. And I got a ton of pieces. And then this, underneath, take a look at the size of this bin, is completely full of cross-stitch patterns.
Now that was a great experience. I'm still selling those cross-stitch patterns, but now I'm past the break-even point off of that initial investment. They've become my bread and butter, and I will constantly look for them throughout estate sales going forward. The next thing that was really important to learn as a reseller is to when you need to walk away. That not everything that you want to buy is worth the money to buy it, just because it's there and you're in the moment and the person expects you to actually buy it. It's okay to say no. And that's what I needed to learn, because I was the one who used to buy everything no matter the cost, because I would get up there, get nervous, and not actually want to buy it. But I would feel inclined to because I was already there with cash in hand. But at this estate sale, I learned to do something else. He wouldn't budge. It was kind of odd, and I hadn't seen this before. So I said, okay, I'm just interested in these 2 DVDs. And he said, fine, I'll do $2 on those DVDs. And the camera, let's go ahead and do $10. The Olympus camera that I had looked up, that you had seen for a brief period of time, goes for about $25, $30 with the shipping, and it's the last day of the sale. I had seen what he had done with the DVDs, I had seen his disinterest in his own sale, and to be very honest, his personality and interactiveness with other people wasn't very kind, I would say. He wasn't mean or angry, he just seemed very passive about interacting. So I said, oh, would you do $5? And he goes, oh, well, it's a camera, but the best I can do is $9. So we went down $1. At that point, I had enough, even with the DVDs. I was really stretching it at $2 a piece. They're gonna make me maybe $10 a piece, and with fees and stuff, I'll walk away with $6. $5 at most with $2. And I just had enough. I was happy to leave the camera behind, and he started ringing me up before we finished. And he goes, well, it's gonna be, as he's telling his person that he had hired, who's super elated to be there. It was completely opposites of the spectrum. That it was gonna be $9 for the camera, $2 for the DVD, and $2 for the other DVD, and go ahead and ring him up. I said, no, it's okay. And he goes, well, I'm not doing any better than $9 on the camera. And I go, okay, no worries, I'll just leave it. And he looks at me, he goes, you're just gonna leave it? And I go, yeah, I'm okay, I don't need it. Do you want me to go ahead and put it back? And I literally take the camera and I walk all the way back to the table. There's a strategy, there's a method to my madness. I'm viewing his behavior as kind of passive. He's done with his day, he doesn't really want to do anymore. But I also see it as an advantage. I know that I can walk away from this item and peacefully know I'm okay. I don't need it. I'm not gonna make that much money on it, and I'm happy to walk away. But he looks at it as though, wait, he's not gonna buy it? And I come back to the table and I look at the woman and I go ahead and ring me up for 2 DVDs. And I'm about to hand over the cash that I'm gonna pay her. He goes, you know what? You want the camera? $5, okay? $5. And I go, sure. And I have my $5 ready and I go, okay, here's $9. And I walk over to the table and I grab the camera and I place it in my bag with the DVDs, and the guy just disappears. And that was one of the very first times that I tried to walk away, and it changed the whole ending of the conversation. By me taking a step back, trying to walk away, the price point was offered at what I wanted it to be. So if you don't take chances and you don't try to buy everything that you see without a little bit of negotiation or a way that you can step away from that, you'll never know. And it's okay if you don't walk away and you don't buy everything. Nobody's ever gonna buy every single thing that they're gonna go to an estate sale, a yard sale, a garage sale actually for. Now, something I'm also very thankful for this year that I've actually gotten to bring people that are really close to me to these yard sales and estate sales and even a flea market, that I've gotten to hang out with more of my friends and show them what I'm all about and see if they have any interest in certainly buying anything of their interest, whether it be for personal gain or to resell. They all seem rather interested. It was great to go out with. It was great to learn with them and just be amongst friends when reselling. And the very first time I got to do this and I introduced you to him, he was my friend Mike when I went back to that estate sale in New York City. Today is a fantastic day. I'm not in Florida at the moment, but I'm back home in Queens, New York, which is a borough of New York City. And we are going to an estate sale. Yes, I said we because I'm with my friend Mike, who's going to his first estate sale. I've known Mike for more than 20 years. He's a big fan of the channel. He also has a YouTube channel called Pucks and Brews, which covers all types of hockey information and news. Here's Mike to tell you a little bit more.
Hey, I'm Mike. I'm Tom's friend from Queens, New York, as you can tell from his awesome shirt. Pan back on the shirt real quick.
Oh.
Dude, it's Venom. You gotta pan back on that one. And yeah, I run a hockey podcast called Pucks and Brews, and Tom is taking me on my first ever estate sale mission.
Yeah, we'd say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know like next to nothing, even though I watch all of his videos, but if I see something that catches my eye, I'm gonna make him included in the video.
It was great to see Mike, but not only that, it was so much fun to bring him around estate sales and him not realizing the value of what things could be bought for compared to what they could be sold for. And he seemed rather enthused as to figuring out how he could resell for himself. And I learned a little bit more about his podcast that I did mention in that video. Now, stepping away from New York City a couple months later, I would fly all the way out to beautiful San Diego, California to visit two very close friends of mine, Chris and Jake. We wanted to go to the Kobey swap meet, which is absolutely something that you need to try, but it was even better going with them. Hey Chris, so do you have any thoughts about going into Kobey today?
I'm just trying to pull whatever deal is best and come out with benefiting myself.
Benefiting?
Yeah, I might look for jersey or something.
Jersey?
I really like sports memorabilia. I think there's a lot to invest in that. Maybe I'll look for something that's Pete Rose
Oh yeah.
centric.
And then I understand, Jake, you're looking for a blazer today.
Yeah, a blazer, and my wrist has been feeling a little empty, so maybe a Richard Mille if I can get one.
All right. In my honest opinion, reselling's more fun when you can do it with a group of friends. It's just a hoot, and you can just teach each other things and just have such a good time and not realize what you're doing at the same time you're making a little bit of money, but having good company while you do it. Now, another benefit of reselling is going to all these different homes, all these different estates, all these different antique stores, and just traveling all over, not realizing how many things that are close to you that you would have never gone to if you just didn't check an app to see what was available in your local neighborhood, to check out local architecture and homes if you were interested, if you had a hobby for it. It's a great way to get out there. Not only that, you could take beautiful, beautiful scenic drives like this one. Now, in addition to those scenic drives, not only are you getting the vast expanse of those landscapes, which is absolutely beautiful, but the homes themselves, some of them I sat there and I was like, wow, this is just really cool how they built this house, or really interesting why they developed it in this certain way. And some of these houses that I saw this year, if you haven't already seen it, be sure to check out some of the estates that I did go to. They were absolutely amazing. It was truly a wonder to see that people that are in architecture are really talented at what they do, like this house. This house was awesome. Now, not only coming away from that house did I walk away with items to resell, but I also got to see a really, really cool house with a beautiful view of waterfront, which is absolutely something else. That was truly one of my favorite houses all year. Now, not only are the houses the most important, but also what's inside of them, because some of those houses and some of those estate sales and some of those antique stores are going to bring out rich history which people have collected over a lifetime. And stepping into antique stores, which I did later in the year, and you get to stand there, and granted, I'm not really there necessarily to resell, but just to look and see what people are looking for in the resale market. It can be a teaching tool. When I got to go to this antique store and see all of this Coke memorabilia, it brought back like so many different times that I could have picked up Coke merchandise and just not realized that people were actually looking for these specific things. But coming away from that antique store, you learn a lot more about the categories that people are looking and interested in, not only collecting, but also for what they want as personal decor, or what they want because it reminds them of their childhood because they collect it. So not only do you get to see beautiful landscapes and homes, but the things that are inside of them, it's truly a hidden gem. It's like a treasure that you want to just look for and just view and observe, even if you don't buy it, because it's really neat and really cool. Now, there's something I really didn't think about when I wanted to get into reselling, especially with estate sales, that I would time travel. Yes, you heard that right. Check this out.
To begin today's video, I wanted to talk about a topic that I wonder if anybody else has seen that's gone to estate sales. And I've seen it multiple times, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I feel that certain people just stop at some point in a decade, and you can clearly tell that they have not progressed further based on the furniture type and the type of items they have in their home. And I always find it wild to walk into these homes, and it's kind of like I'm stepping back in time. Has anybody else seen that before? If so, be sure to leave it down in the comments below and let me know.
So as I was mentioning, you can literally step into these homes and these places, and it's like people have come up to a certain point and they've just stopped in that decade. And you'll see refrigerators and ovens and microwaves and electronics, like it's just stopped in a decade and they just did not keep going. So they'll still watch VHS tapes, but they never went to DVD. There are electronics from the 60s that'll last forever, and they just won't upgrade. But to be very honest, if you are looking for it, these are great places to find said items for those vintage collections that if you have the time to disassemble them from the built-in status that they are, especially if they're 50s or 60s compared to countertops, you can actually make a pretty decent profit. But it's also really neat to see because it's literally you stepping back in time into this entire house once you open that door from the outside world. So there's one thing that followed me throughout the entire year going to all these estate sales, and that is creepy stuff. No matter where I went, at least 80% of the houses had some type of creepy doll or clown somewhere in the house that I always ran into, and it kind of freaked me out. Kind of like this one.
I don't know why, but the basements of every estate sale I go to, there's always something creepy. In this one, there was like this crawl space that had all this gravel that they still used as storage space, so I had no idea. So, I thought the creepy gravel part where the storage was that was unlit underneath the stairs was the creepiest part, and then I found this narrow passageway that was unlit that I couldn't see the other end of. And I was like, nope, I've seen enough movies to not go down that hallway. And I thought that was the worst. And then I found this whole workstation. And I don't know if you've ever been to an estate sale, but I think they just gravitate to me. I always come in contact with some type of creepy doll. If you enjoy these dolls, I apologize, but I truly find them quite creepy and they bug me out. This person loved their dolls so much they decided to make their pieces and parts because those are all the molds all along the wall for these dolls right here that we're looking at right now, including the creepy heads of the dolls that have no eyes. And hey, guess what? They also molded the arms of the dolls. At this point, I was like, I think I'm good in this basement. I'm gonna look out the window to see if there's any help, but at the same time, I'm going to move on from this creepy doll workstation in this estate sale.
And then, if it didn't happen to be dolls itself, then it just happened to be the house itself, where I felt kind of just creeped out because it was dark, it was damp, and it just felt like people shouldn't be there. But I made sure I brought you along to show you exactly what I was talking about.
Why is it somehow I always wind up in old, creepy basement/garages? I don't know. When what I thought was gonna be the laundry room turned out to actually be the bathroom, because that's a toilet and a shower. Yep, that's a hole in the ceiling. I think I'm gonna get out of this room.
So coming off all of that, even the creepy stuff, I think the most important takeaway that I took from this year is never stop learning. Always push to learn something new. Because the more you do, the easier reselling will become, but that doesn't prevent you from looking up new things to learn. or getting to know new people and making new friends and growing your community. And that's why I appreciate YouTube and the ability to share with you and bring you with me here at TRB Collectibles. The comments that I've received and the answers that I provided, it was so engaging and so much fun because I had a passion for something that other people enjoyed as well. The nice thing is that I got to spend more time with my friends and show them what I was all about, and they were interested in it too. And they were interested in the parts that they were fond of, because everybody can resell something that they might enjoy or they might want to do. And it all starts with one item in your house that you want to sell. Over the next year, I hope I continue to learn and grow and know new people, and some of you will join me for that adventure. And hopefully more of you will join me as well. I'd love to grow this community, I love to grow TRB Collectibles, but I continue to enjoy reselling. It is truly so much fun, and I truly have a fun time every time I go out, and I'm glad I get to bring you along with me. I appreciate you watching all the videos over the course of the last year, and if you subscribed or you did leave a comment. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate going into the next year with you with me. And thank you, because my name's Tom, and this is TRB Collectibles, so here's to the next year.